My name is Niklas Zilliacus from Finland as well, based in Stockholm. I work with Kaiku Health, and I will talk to you about how AI and modern technology can bring the patient to the core of their care. So I'll start off by telling you about patient-reported outcome measures, which might be at this point quite well known in Sweden as well. So patient-reported outcome measures is, as the name says, something that is reported by the patient, standardized, internationally validated questionnaires that patients fill in, mainly regarding their symptoms. One example is QLQ C30, which is a very common quality of life measure. So traditionally these have been used in just in clinical trials, but now it's being brought digitally into routine care more and more in Europe. So let's look a bit at the clinical evidence of using these PROMs, so to say, or e-PROMs even, digital electronic patient-reported outcome measures. Let's look at the clinical evidence in routine care. Some of you might have seen this research presented at ASCO conference in Chicago last year, June 2017. Here you can see Ethan Bash and his research group comparing patient-reported outcome measures or patient-reported symptom monitoring and usual care, and they could prove that up to 5.2 months of longer overall survival for cancer patients. Ethan Bash and his research group were looking at 12 most common metastatic cancer forms, and after this there has been several other studies supporting these results. So how do you get to these results? Here's a common example of also studies showing really why this is a problem. In the clinic, you usually are unaware of the symptoms in up to 50% of the time. Basically, here you can see kind of how that happens. Patient at home maybe has 15 minutes with the doctor every month, and in that time you should be able to tell all your symptoms. A lot of information is lost here. The other option is to call in, which is first of all not something you want to do because you don't want to be disturbing the clinicians. Other problem is that you don't really get through because the clinicians are of course busy and the phone is ringing all the time. So how do you actually manage to tackle this problem and do symptom monitoring in an efficient way? So we've seen that first of all you need to use patient-reported outcome measures, these standardized questionnaires, and then you need to be able to do so-called active intelligent monitoring, which I will tell you a bit more about in just a second. So naturally we do both of this, and our solution, Kaiku Health, is a so-called digital therapeutics platform, and it is built on patient-reported outcomes and intelligent symptom tracking. Let's start with this one. So how does that work? The patients report symptoms here with these PROMs, structured and internationally validated questionnaires. And then our really core, our brain is grading and scoring these questionnaires. And based on that, they will alarm the care team if needed, or then by standard, it will give feedback directly back to the patient. Additionally, we have a chat solution to be able to support non-urgent communication between patient and their care staff. Additionally, I would like to add some really new information about our core. It's still in product development, an AI project that we have ongoing, but it is still, it limits a bit what I can say about it, but it's still interesting, I think, for this audience today to mention what possibilities there are with AI actually in healthcare today. So the point with all these interactions, digital interactions, interventions that we have been building is to be able to predict symptoms, especially to certain treatments. So what we want to achieve with our AI is to be able to predict change or development of certain symptoms connected to a certain treatment. That, of course, not only saves time for the healthcare staff, but also gives really predictive instructions back to the patient of upcoming side effects. It can really prepare the patient for the upcoming side effects or other symptoms related to treatments. But more about this will be coming in the spring. For now, we're quite limited to tell you what this core brain will be able to do. But basically, this is how Kaiku Health works. I would mention that we do all kinds of integrations to EMRs. We are working with several vendors, several systems. We are very much a development company, so Finnish engineering, trying to make this as user-friendly as possible for the care teams, still bringing the treatment, really bringing the patient to the center of care in the home where they are, or where we want them to be at least. I'll go back to this slide just real quick. So where we are today, we were founded in 2012, and today we have over 40 clinics in 5 European countries. We've been able to gather data from up to 70,000 patients, and naturally that is what we build our AI engine with. And to our knowledge, we were the first company in Northern Europe implementing this digital patient monitoring. And that was back in 2013. Some of our references, we work with all the university hospitals in Finland. We work with the leading hospital chain in Switzerland and in Germany. And now in Sweden, we've actually, for the past 2 years, been working with the research project here in Gothenburg at Sahlgrenska Akademin, where Karin Ahlberg is studying proton therapy patients. And very soon we will be launching some projects with university hospitals in Sweden. So just real brief, what our customers say and why clinics want to collaborate with us is basically 3 reasons. Increased patient experience, increased vigilance for the clinical staff, and more outcome data. So according to our internal studies, we've been able to see that up to 95% of our users report that Kaiku Health is actually supporting the treatment. And in the clinic, we've seen a reduction of phone calls up to 75%, actually. And really, thanks to great compliance rate, we were able to bring hundreds of data points to the doctors and have more data about the patients than before. So we are based in Helsinki. We were founded in 2012 by 5 engineers from Finland, and we have offices now in Frankfurt. I'm based in Stockholm. That's basically what we have today. Very happy to answer some questions. More time for that, I think.